Welcome back to Real-ationship Goals, a podcast all about exploring the realities and complexities of healthy relationships. Real-ationship Goals is a project of the Prevention and Education team at the Advocacy Center for Crime Victims and Children in Waco, Texas. If you or someone you know has experienced sexual violence or harassment and is seeking support services or needs more information, links to resources and our hotline number can be found in the description. The views expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of their organizations or affiliates.
Here we go. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Real-ationship Goals. We are so excited to have you back here with us. We are back today with another media analysis episode. Today we are going to be reading through and discussing some of the lyrics from Megan Maroney's song, Am I Okay? So we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. I'll open us up just with the first verse, which says, I checked my pulse and my heart's still beating. Exhale, I think I'm still breathing. Both feet on the ground, but something's changed. I've been playing less black keys, baby. And my friends swear I've gone crazy. I don't know how to act. I don't know what to say.
Okay, well, I was already asking the question of what black keys is, so I guess that's my commentary to add.
Prior to beginning.
It's almost like context, like, ooh, what are we getting into? Because I feel like she hasn't said too much.
Yeah. Yeah, but some of our running theories on black keys, where we have two different thoughts. My brain immediately went to like the piano, like songs with like minor chords. So like maybe she's playing like minor chords. I think are traditionally associated with like more like sadder songs, potentially or more emotional songs. So maybe it's like I'm playing in major chords, which are just a little bit more upbeat, happy. Traditionally was kind of my read, but I know Elsie had a competing theory.
Yeah, I mean, I also just like have no music knowledge whatsoever. I learned how to play the recorder in fourth grade, and I think that was it. So like, and I've also never seen the lyrics before me, but like, every time that I've listened to it, like I just thought that it was but those are the Black Eyed Peas.
No, but there's also, I think there's only a Black Peas fan.
Okay,
I think, but there is also a Black Eyed Peas.
I'm so sorry. I did not know that's what you were referring to prior to,
So I did
to us recording.
that feels even less fun.
Okay, that's so funny. I just know that my only thing is I know the Jonas Brothers have a song called Black Keys. It's also a sad song.
Maybe that's what she's listening to. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Stan.
Yeah.
I'm there with her. Okay.
Also, yeah, but I do agree. This one kind of leaves us without much to go on. There's not a lot of context. And I'm just kind of like, what's going on? What's happening? I don't know. You tell me. And then she does.
What's it called? It's the hook.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the chorus, it says, "'Cause oh my God, he walked in like a 6'2" dream, heaven sent. He says what he means and he means what he says, and he's funny and he's smart. Maybe love ain't always what it was, not crying and dying and messing me up. I think I'm really happy. I think I want to stay. Oh my God, am I okay?"
I forgot about that lyric that Elsie skipped over.
But I feel like that would definitely give a little bit more backstory.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I get it now.
And so she's checking her pulse because he's a dream, he's heaven sent. So, okay, important to note, he means what he says. He says what he means and means what he says.
Yeah, I like that one.
So it's given, that's rare.
Yeah, giving communication.
It's, he's funny. Okay, also not. Okay, rarity. He's smart. Rarity.
Maybe love ain't always what it was. I feel like that's the big lyric that kind of indicates like kind of where we're going.
Just checking her pulse.
Yeah, like this kind of relationships with these healthier qualities is unusual. This isn't what she's used to.
Yeah, because right after that she says not crying and not crying and dying and messing me up. I think I'm really happy. I think I'm stay.
And I think that the last part too, and she hinted at it a lot in the first verse, but like I think I'm really happy. I think I want to stay. Like going from what, like this is obviously an uncomfortable situation for her. Like she's never had the healthy relationship, and so it's got to be really weird to like be experiencing all these new things and being like, this is not like, I don't like this, but like I do at the same time type of thing.
Not to get all clinical social work, I'm not a clinician or anything like that, but when people are in bad relationships and that's all they know, and they're kind of their body, not just relationships, but or romantic relationships, but it could be just like family and things like that. If they're just used to like chaos and things like that, their body, that's all they know. So even like quote unquote safe space, a healthy relationship can be like, oh, what is this? Like, ooh, unmarked territory or unmarked territory? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's uncharted.
Uncharted, that's the word.
But unmarked marks as well. But yeah, it's super common for folks like that, especially like grow up in like unhealthy relationship systems, to have a really, really difficult time, understandably, adjusting to healthy relationships or being able to form healthy relationships. And a lot of times that's why folks who experience abuse whenever they're younger end up in abusive relationships. Whenever they're older, they're more likely to be victimized by folks that take advantage of that, which is just really interesting.
I don't remember what podcast I was listening to, but they were talking about like secure attachment, all that type of stuff. But when
love attachment theory,
but like when it's a healthy relationship, there's not a lot of like unhealthy conflict going on, because there's also healthy conflict, but that safety and just it can coming out of an abusive environment, whether it be your family, childhood, past relationships, and it's in a healthy space. Dang, I just lost it. What the heck? Sorry, this happens to me all the time on your podcast. I'll come back to it. Dang, it's like I looked at the calendar and it was gone. Okay, now I gotta think. Give me a moment. Y'all continue while I'm in my space.
What I was gonna say based off of your comment was
sorry, I just remembered
go ahead before you
knowing my memory. No, I was gonna say when it's like healthy and there's not a lot of unhealthy conflict, is that it can feel boring.
Yes.
Okay, I'm so sorry that it can feel boring. And I remember now being with my husband, we've been together 8 years. I remember I was like, dang, we're not fighting. This is kind of boring. But I was like, oh, I'm safe. And it was beautiful. But I was like, that was, again, going to like, it's an uncomfortable situation for her. Exactly what it felt like.
Dang, okay, well now I have 2 points. My first point was going to be that like I wasn't in an abusive situation at all, but like my parents did not have a healthy relationship. And so my mom used to always tell me that my picker was going to be broken, because like that was my example. And so obviously it wasn't with like my stepdad and my mom, but at first it was. And so she would always be like, your picker. And so I've always been like so aware of like who I pick, because I don't know, it just like meant a lot that I like proved my mom wrong, basically. And then, oh dang it, what did you say?
Boring? Question mark?
Yes. No, it was about not fighting. So, like I mentioned before, I don't care if this is on the podcast or not, but this is my first relationship that I'm in, and like we have not had like any big fights. And I remember looking at other people's relationships and like seeing that they had like 1 or 2 like things by the time they were 2 years in. And so I was like, is there something wrong with my relationship, because I haven't had this? And I mean, I don't think there is, but like, what if there is, because I haven't fought yet?
Well, maybe y'all just have conflict in a different way.
Yeah,
like maybe you just communicate through your conflict in a better way, because like fighting is not the goal.
Yeah.
But like healthy conflict is the goal.
Right.
So
yeah, because
it could be doing that.
And it could be like small things, really. Like conflict is honestly really small things too. Me and Jeremiah shout out to my husband, Jeremiah. I'll be like, but I always bring this up. Maybe we need to go to Walmart and Target. I'm like, okay, I want to go to Target and then Walmart. But he's like, I want to go to Walmart and then Target. And so things like that. And I'm like, for real? Are you serious? And so like, what little conflicts like that, but like we also don't fight. Like I've got no reason to box him or anything like that. I'm like, we have no reason to have a yelling match. It's just little things like that. But yeah.
If you want to hit verse
Oh,
two,
yes, that's
it's
in
your
your
time to shine. Verse two.
Okay, verse 2 goes, who knew guys still brought flowers or picked up the phone before a last call hour, and not because they cheated, and not because they lied, and not because we're sort of sorry after a fight. And wait, there's guys that communicate that aren't looking to break. Wait, my bad. That aren't looking for a heart to break. I always thought, heck no, no way. I put some extra words in there.
The message still got across.
This is definitely like the most like not insightful, but like most like about the point of the song, I think. But I mean the picked up the phone before a last call hour is just like having not being a booty call, basically.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I see my brain went to last call like in a restaurant or a bar where it's like, all right, last call before like we're closed. It's your last chance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So my brain got, I
Before
still
I
interpreted
leave.
it right.
Yeah. But and then my favorite part on this one is the not because they're sort of sorry after a fight. And I think that within this, especially within groups, like we talked about the importance of an apology and like kind of just like sincerity. And so, and that's something that I've always learned growing up was like my mom would have me be like, what are you sorry for? To who are you sorry? Like all of that stuff. And it was never like, and I'm sorry, but like my mom used to be like, I'm sorry, but doesn't live here. And I was like, okay.
Shout out to your mom because I started implementing that with my friends and also my partner because I have a legacy of like literally in high school. I'm like, don't tell me I'm sorry because I don't want to hear it. And Jeremiah was my friend in high school, and so he'd be like, I want to tell you I'm sorry, but I know you don't like to hear it. I'm like, no, I don't want to hear it empty. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I'm like, if you're gonna apologize, like I want to know what you're apologizing for, type of thing. And I remember the first time one of me and my friends had an argument, it was like a I'm sorry, but and I was like, oh no. It was like a I'm sorry, and then they defend themselves. Yeah. But I'm like, hey, like let's focus, not in a selfish way, but I'm like, I get maybe your intentions maybe were different and didn't land well with me. But like having a good apology, like I think there's not a perfect apology. I feel like there is a way to do an apology wrong.
Either, absolutely.
Yes, like truly. But I not that there's like a checklist, but
A lot of it's the intention.
yeah. And even if it like to me it's always like yes, intention matters, but sometimes it doesn't land that way either way. But also acknowledging that in that thing. But it's not a I'm sorry, but like I meant this and it was just a joke or whatever like that.
Or like you interpreted it wrong. Like,
Yeah.
Your fault. Like, yeah.
So I think it's
I'm sorry that you got your feelings hurt. No.
So I'm so glad that you got to grow up with that.
Yeah.
So
I made apologizing way harder.
And I also say like don't tell me you're sorry just so I will shut up.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
That's what I thought of with this, and not because they're sort of sorry after a fight, because I interpreted that as I don't want you to be upset with me anymore, or like I'm tired of this. So like
I'm doing the white flag.
Yeah, I'm sorry, shut up, it's done. And it's like that's not a and like that's where I have to wrestle with myself with the like I like to believe that all of my apologies are sincere. But I also am very, 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 very conflict averse. So like I am very much so like I don't want things to feel bad. Like I can't have things feel bad. I have to fix them, and I have to do whatever I can to fix it. So it's having to like advocate that too. Like you can't just like even if you apologize because it is the right thing to do, not because you think that is the way to get things to go back to how they were before, because they can't.
Shout out to Miss Self-Aware Queen. Okay, my friend. Oh, it's the chorus again.
Yeah, we got chorus again, and then there's like a little bridge that Elsie's gonna read for us.
I'm learning music terms today.
Okay, so the bridge is I don't feel like a sad song soundtrack. The old me doesn't know how to feel about that. Am I okay? I think I'm okay.
That one hurt my heart, but I really, really like the old me doesn't know how to feel about that. Feels like it ties in so well to what we were saying about the like if you are not used to healthy relationships, the safety of a healthy relationship doesn't feel safe.
Yeah.
Like even if that's what it is, your body and your mind is not going to be able to like recognize that right away. And that's okay. Like you just have to be caring for yourself. And I think processing through, like that's why it's so important to be continuously processing through your trauma before and once you get into new relationships. Like you can't just like you can't carry that past stuff in there. Or if you do, like there's some trauma that we once trauma happens, you know, it's just kind of there. Like you can't undo that, unfortunately, but we can work to process and grow and to be healthy while also carrying those things. So,
and I think that's also the importance of like a lot of people, not a lot of people, that's a group together. Anyways, but like some people are really uncomfortable with being by themselves, and so they just like jump from relationship to like relationship, and then they like keep bringing each relationship's trauma with them. And so like I know a few friends that have like told other people like you just need to like learn how to be okay with yourself first before you like go jump into this, but that like that's really uncomfortable. So then
Easier said than done. Yeah, I was definitely one of those kids.
Yeah. So I think that's important too, to like be able to grow your relationships. You have that's so cheesy, but you like have to be able to do that with yourself first.
sounds cheesy, and yet sometimes cheesy things are true. This is one of those times.
It also makes me think of like in my own life, it's like I'm very grateful, but I also don't want to make it seem like, haha, I made it, you didn't type of thing. But like back in the day, like I listened to sad songs because I felt comfort in them, I felt heard and things like that. But now it's like I listen to sad songs because I think they're beautiful. I may not relate to them anymore. And so it's like I'm not at that sad song soundtrack anymore in the sense of like they're speaking for me in a way. But it's like, wow, like because I've been able to do the work, I've been grateful to do that work. I feel like now it's just like something I just get to listen to and enjoy in a different way.
I feel like whenever I also do that sometimes, where I'll listen to sad music and my heart hurts for past me.
Yes.
And it's like I remember whenever I listened to this song in this moment of my life and how much I was hurting, how alone I felt and stuff like that. So it's just like music is a good way of connecting with ourselves and like reconnecting with like every phase of ourselves too. Processing is lifelong.
And it makes me think earlier when I was doing a checklist on Instagram, I was like, what have you done this year? I was telling Elsie, I was like, it said got my heart broken. And like to somebody that might be like relationship wise, but I was like, I get my heart broken every day. I see the animals on the street. Like it's different. Like it's connecting in a different space. Yeah. But things when you start working through things, you can see something and interpret it completely. Like our interpretations of Black Keys. Black Keys and what else? We said something else.
Someday.
Oh, last call. Yeah. Last call hour.
Someday we'll learn what Black Keys is a reference to. Just not today, maybe. But I guess before we move on to like relationship goal and everything, do we have any final thoughts on Am I Okay?
High school me would have ate this up. Grown me also eats this up.
It's like current me.
Current me eats this. Probably when I was in high school, it would have been one of those songs where I'm like, it's speaking for me, type of thing. But now I'm just like, the song is good. But anyways.
Awesome. Well, we can go ahead and transition on to our relationship goal, with which Elsie has prepared for us today. So graciously.
Yes. So the relationship goal today is to do a small gesture for either a friend or just anybody that's like close to you. It can be like picking up the phone and just being like, hey, was thinking of you today. I know my friends text me like, how's your day going? And like, that's something that's small that I appreciate because then it doesn't like require my immediate response or anything like that. So I don't feel like it's any additional labor to get that. But yeah, so just a small act of love.
Send a song, send a meme.
Yeah.
I always love a good meme.
That's really
Good Instagram.
TikTok.
Lots of options. And speaking of, I'm going to add an additional option on there because my recommendation for today, in honor of our media analysis episode, is to check your Spotify or your music player of choice Wrapped for the year. Find out what those stats are. How many minutes did you listen to? Who was your top artist? What was your top song? I'd ask about genre, but that wasn't included this year. So
On Spotify, that's true.
at Spotify. Thank you for releasing our podcast, Spotify. We love you.
Oh yes.
I saw a girl do a TikTok about it because she was upset about Spotify.
I didn't think about.
We are greatly appreciative of our Spotify.
Yes.
So thank you, Spotify, for being a platform on which this podcast exists. But yeah, so that's my recommendation. Check out your Wrapped, and you can share your Wrapped or whatever with your loved ones as well. I've done that with some of mine where we've chatted and compared and see what we have similar, what we have different. And it's always just fun to see everybody's thing.
I loved when everyone posted them, and my top song, I'm gonna say it, was His by Megan Thee Stallion, was a diss track. But I saw 2 or 3 other people who had the exact same top song, and so we all got to talk about it and also interpret it differently. But yeah, no, it was really nice.
Mine was Orpheus by Vincent Nema. Everyone should listen.
Chapel Run. I have multiple Chapel songs in my top 5. Surprising no one. But yeah, so that is all for today's episode. I realized part of the way through that I completely skipped over our introductions. So if you would like to hear us introduce ourselves, go listen to our previous episode or wait until next week. We'll introduce ourselves at the beginning of that one.
Ooh, you don't know who we are.
I don't know who could be speaking right now. No idea. But thank you guys.
Thanks so much for tuning in to Real-ationship Goals. This episode was produced by the Prevention and Education Department of the Advocacy Center for Crime Victims and Children in Waco, Texas. Interested in more content from PNE or the Advocacy Center? You can follow us on Instagram at ACCVC_prevention or on Instagram and Facebook at Advocacy Waco. Be sure to like this episode and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Bye.